This is, let's see what time it is. It is, looks like 5:13 on May 13th. There you go. 5:13 on May 13th. That's pretty cool, actually. This is the Recreation Parks Committee. My name is Mr. Brock Heath. I'm the chair. To my right is Mrs. Oda. To my left is Mr. Terwilliger. We've got an item that we're going to be talking about today. Mr. Kayla, I think you are going to be talking about that for us. Is that correct? Yes. Awesome. I think we're ready for you.
Okay. This is actually very simple.
Okay.
Park Board met last Tuesday, and they've recognized a bit of a problem in flow, and it's with camping. Now, camping typically is only very special times, very special events in the park system. It's kind of an urban legend that the park superintendent had the authority to approve that. Last year, during one of the events, we discovered technically he does not. He has authority to oversee the hours of a park based upon section 93307, but that language was not carried on through in 933, I believe it's 933.16, that does not allow camping in a park. It was always believed it was in both sections, and it's not. So Park Board recognized they need to make that adjustment to allow the superintendent to review camping experiences and basically allow the park superintendent that opportunity to approve that. So that's what we're asking for today. You may recall last summer we had an event in Treasure Island Park. This would only be for Treasure Island Park, and it had to go to council twice, the council committee. It got quite cumbersome. And of course, if you're an applicant, like any applicant we may have, we know for example, the Buckeye Trail has asked about some interest in doing something at Treasure Island Park. And to go to council committee and on to council is just kind of cumbersome. It's a big challenge for people who don't know our system. So the Park Board was asking council to streamline this process. So basically today, that's what we're asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit it on the head. It is very simple. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. We trust the people on the Park Board and the Park Director and all these people. I think when we distribute that ability to do those out, it helps everybody out. It helps declutter things up here. It helps them get things done. It helps the applicants. I see no downside to this. Have there ever been any issues with park camping or anything in the past? I think it's all been pretty smooth in the past.
No, I've actually overseen almost a dozen different park events of all different scales. You may remember GOBA's, which we're not looking at Community Park, we're looking at Treasure Island Park. We've had several actually camping experiences in Treasure Island Park. Since we want to make it an active lifestyle park, we'd like to pursue some more opportunities and allow that to be possible. The Park Board thinks that's a wonderful idea with it being an active lifestyle park, but we do want to streamline the process to make it more user-friendly.
Absolutely. Less government red tape is always a good thing in my book. So
we hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any questions or comments from you, ma'am, or you, sir?
In streamlining, last year, Stan, we had the potential of an event at Duke Park. This legislation or suggestion only refers to streamlining Treasure Island. This was with the 24 hours biking where we attempted to consider camping. We couldn't cover that with this because this is Treasure Island only, correct?
Well, looking at this specifically, I know we were contemplating Treasure Island specifically. I'm trying to find out if it actually...
Stan, it is Treasure Island only, and the reason that we did it that way is that with the overnight that you're talking about at Duke Park or Community Park, when GOBA comes back, we felt we didn't want to make it too broad. We wanted to have those really unique one-time events come back to the council so that there is the council control over those types of events. But in terms, and since those are not overnight type active lifestyle parks, but they have other objectives more or less, and any requests for camping in those parks is a truly unique thing. We wanted to make sure that that was separated from an administrative oversight only. So we wanted to make sure the council still had that oversight on those other parks, but with Treasure Island, again, given its unique location, leave that to the park superintendent.
deferring to Mr. Sievert and our legalese, the terms, do we have a sensible definition for camping? Is it tent camping? Is this
I
a
think we're-
floating tent camping?
Well,
Is this-
floating tent camping is on the river, which is dictated by this, a state permit.
Yes.
Overnight camping, if you were to pick up the shoal tents and put them on Treasure Island, that would qualify because that's primitive camping. So what it would not allow is RV camping or anything like that. It's tent camping.
Got it.
Good.
Yep.
All right. Mrs. Oda, any comments or questions?
Just will it be known as part of this ordinance that it's just tent camping? Will that be
We'll make sure.
stated
Yes.
in there so that
It
that's
was
very clear?
primitive camping, something like that it'll be
Okay, yeah,
referenced.
I'm good with it.
I think primitive, you can do no tents. I mean, they could be out in sleeping bags, and as long as there's no vehicle involved.
Yeah, well, no RVs, none of those kind of things. Typically tents or something similar to that.
Perfect. Good. Anything else?
I have a question.
Other committee members or council members?
Typically, when you think of camping, hand in glove would be a campfire. Is that included in the definition to follow with Mr. Twilliger for camping? Is that
Actually-
a separate?
I believe we've covered that. I'd have to look and double check, but I believe the park superintendent, within other articles of the codified section, is allowed to authorize campfires.
Okay, so that doesn't have to be
I
changed.
don't think that's
just
in
this.
this section,
That would
because I believe
change
that's
it
another section.
Because we only allow contained campfires, so, you just can't stack some wood in the middle of the grass and
Okay.
do it. So we already have that kind of provision.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's involved. Obviously, alcohol use is involved. All of those things are already covered.
Definitely covered, yes, and definitely.
Right, alcohol is prohibited.
Yeah, yeah.
That always takes a special provision of council.
Okay.
Good. Any other council members have questions? I know we got some out in the audience. Anyone else in the audience itself? How would you like to move forward?
Move forward.
I'm good.
Good, good. And we don't need emergencies, so looks like we are all on board to move forward. Anything else for us today?
That's all I have.
Appreciate your help and information.
Thank you
If
very
there's
much.
nothing else for us, then we